But why modernize, right? Because I'll give you a perfect example. Probably about 10 years ago, we started talking about application-aware storage, right? I don't know if you've heard of companies like TinTree. So what they do is they sell you near flash storage, right? And based on application profiling, you can scale up and scale down. So why would I want to take my traditional application that's been running for 10 years? Users are used to the interface, and I bought this tin now called TinTree, right? And on my high days between the 24th of the month and the 7th of the next month, my IOPS goes through the roof. But because I have application-aware storage, my database is working.
Yeah.
So why would I want to modernize when it's a big skills take on? I've got to worry about this new thing that's called the cloud, and I'm just scared, right? I'm scared as an infrastructure guy from Rhodesia. All of a sudden, now you're telling me I don't have to worry about the operating system.
You don't.
What is that about, right? That's freaky. I know how to manage it like a Wintel team, right? We are worry about Windows and Intel. So I worry about the tin, and I can touch it, right? I can smell it. There's little lights on the dashboard that shows me that it's on. Now I move to the cloud, and I don't even have an operating system, right? But there's stuff in this thing that comes off the ship. So why are we modernizing? And do I go to the next slide, or you?
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can go into the next slide. But I think the answer to the why modernize is because you essentially you're going to get a whole bunch of cost optimizations. You're going to get a better security posture. You're going to improve your agility and your quality of service. And those are basically the main reasons why you want to modernize. You're going to improve your reliability. Your customers are going to come back. The speed and scalability. I mean, yes, you can scale to max on month end, but tomorrow you have 400 new customers, hopefully, and you've got to scale beyond what you can scale on max and on month end. What do? You know, that's a 6-week turnaround for CapEx to be signed off, and then installation of the tin and testing. You know, you're looking at least a 3-month project. In Azure, you can do that elastically. You can scale to the elastic limits.
Who was it? Was it Bieber that came to South Africa and everyone was buying online, right? And you went into a queuing system. And the reason why you went into a queuing system is because the hardware could not handle more than X amount of concurrent connections, right? So you talked about scalability. Well, I didn't buy any Justin Bieber tickets.
Okay. I'll just take your word for it.
Everyone phoned me, and because they know that I'm in IT, they thought there was something wrong with their computer, right? Because they couldn't buy tickets. That's my official excuse. And then from a scalability perspective, you touched on security. Now, a lot of times, I've been hacked. Have you been hacked before, Quentin? As a server that you manage, I've been hacked, where what I had to do is walk into the server room, and it was easy. I was staring at the console, right? We actually had a glass server room, right? And the entrance to the building in Foregate Square. So everything was pretty, patch panel was pleated, and it just looked beautiful. And I stood at the console, and I was watching McAfee run through a scan of my directory. And it went _space uploaded by / the courier group / and then it was some game. Right. So all I did then was I literally pulled the network cable out. Problem solved. Right. Yeah. Problem solved. They're not FXPing to my vulnerability on the box, because literally that's what they did. Right. They hosted a FTP server on my server, the guys upstairs server, and that's how they got in. And then they were FXPing because you score credit so that you can FXP from other courier groups like Class 911 and 1911 and all the other couriers back in the day, back in my days. But from a security perspective, Microsoft spends more than $1 billion a year on security. So if anyone says, but you can't make it as secure because I can pull the network cable out, chances are you're wrong. They do spend the most amount of money. They are compliant in more than 90 security legislations and regulations worldwide. So chances are, if you are going to move your on-prem or your private data center environment to Azure, it's going to be more secure than what you have. It's not bricks and mortar anymore. Perimeter networks extended.
I think also a key thing there is that it's a two-way partnership, right? I mean, it's Microsoft looking after the security of the entire data center and their perimeter, but you too, right? I mean, you're as a company, as a development team or as an infrastructure team, you need to look after your own security as well, right? I mean, if you think about one of the biggest data leaks and most expensive asterisks happened because somebody accidentally gave read access to to anonymous on S3 storage account. So, you can't just rely on Microsoft. So you need to
S3 is
upskill
AWS, right? S3
Yes,
is AWS. It's not
that's why I
Microsoft.
mentioned it. That's
Thank
not
you.
Microsoft.
So a
But you
little
also
bit
have
of
to start
cloud
thinking.
bashing, right?
You have to also start thinking about things like, identity and access management. The role of security is sort of changing in the cloud because your perimeter becomes more porous, but it also becomes more secure because you're doing identity and access management. So when you are thinking about modernizing your applications actually get user-managed identities, and that actually gives them an identity in your Active Directory, and you can give them rights to certain things, right? And you can remove those rights. You don't have to do key sharing anymore. Key sharing was something that we did in the beginning of the cloud, but nowadays they've made that identity and access management most secure. And if you think about it, okay, I'm not looking at the SolariGate and Sunburst hacks, but if you think about, most of the attacks are all based on identity. Whale phishing, they have so many names for phishing. They have more phishing names than for actual phishing.
Spear.
Yeah. You see, there's like all forms of phishing, and that's the way people hack you. And that's why identity and access management is probably nowadays the most important aspect of security beyond firewalls. And the second one I would also recommend it to, because of SolariGate and Sunburst, is always look at your egress traffic. Try and control your egress traffic. I know everybody wants all ports open to all websites. It's never a good idea.
All right, moving on. Just some cost savings. I think cost savings is big. We did an app mod assessment for a customer, and mind I cannot mention the customer's name as well. And Sibu, glad you're loving it. We will keep on going until one of us falls asleep, right? Chances are everyone's just going to leave after an hour. but cost saving, right? So your ROI and your TCO, it's a bigger thing, right? And we actually spoke to a customer about modernizing their data landscape, right? And obviously application modernization on the top. And Quentin, I think the savings that was something like 5 million rand a year just on SQL.
Yeah, a minimum. Just on SQL, it was 5 million a year. Yeah. Over a 3-year period, you're looking at 15 to 20 million ROI. Look, there is some initial investment, but really with application modernization, because you're able to focus on new innovation and grow business through innovation, and improve customer experience, that's where your real return on investment comes in. Because also, I was saying about that customer, we also had a customer in Kenya that we worked with, and we automated their entire development life cycle from code checking till app store. And they within the next day, after we handed over the project back to them, the next day they did a release. In our demo, we did a release from dev into the app center. And that's an hour for something that would have taken weeks and weeks and weeks to do, which allows them to add new functionalities at a really good pace. So that faster service deployment development it's fundamental. And of course, then you have this innovation and you have time to innovate. So you were saying, what do I do as from my days in Rhodesia, and I was looking after hardware tin. Those guys are now freed up to actually innovate, to look at security, to look at their policies, to make sure that that the things that are sometimes missed because people are busy doing the day-to-day are taken care of.